Hey everyone, welcome back to Jays Central, your home for everything Blue Jays. Before we dive into today's massive trade discussion, make sure you smash that like button right now. It really helps us bring you the best Blue Jays content every single day. And don't forget to drop a comment below telling me what you think about this potential blockbuster deal. Alright, let's get into it. So here's the situation we're facing right now with the Toronto Blue Jays roster. The front office has been extremely active this offseason, bringing in some serious pitching talent. They've added Dylan Cease and Cody Ponce to the rotation, which is fantastic news for the team's starting depth. However, this creates an interesting problem that we need to talk about. Jose Berios, who has been nothing short of reliable for this organization, suddenly finds himself in a really awkward position. Think about it. After everything he's done for this team, after all those consistent starts and innings pitched, he's now looking at a potential role in the bullpen. That's right, long relief might be where he ends up if things don't change. Now, I want you to really think about this for a second. Is that fair to a pitcher of Berios' caliber? This is a guy who has proven time and time again that he can handle a starter's workload. But with the new additions and the possibility of even more rotation upgrades coming, the writing might be on the wall. The Blue Jays organization really owes it to Berios to find him a situation where he can continue doing what he does best, being a frontline starting pitcher. And that's exactly where this trade proposal comes into play. Now, I need you guys to hit that like button again if you're still with me, because this trade is absolutely wild. We're talking about a deal with the New York Yankees here. Yes, you heard that right, the Yankees. Our division rivals. The team we love to beat. But hear me out on this one, because even though it sounds crazy, there's actually some serious logic behind it. Before I break down all the pieces, make sure you're subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on, because we've got Blue Jays content coming at you all week long. Okay, so here's what this proposed trade looks like. The Blue Jays would be sending out Jose Berios along with his $19 million contract. That's a significant salary, but stay with me. They'd also be trading Anthony Santander, who's been a solid bat for the team. And here's where it gets interesting for the future. They'd be including pitching prospect Ricky Tiedemann in the package as well. Now, Tiedemann is a name that gets a lot of attention in prospect circles, so giving him up wouldn't be easy. Oh, and the Blue Jays would also be sending $10 million in cash to help offset some of the financial impact on the Yankees side. That's a lot going out the door, right? But wait until you hear what's coming back. In return, Toronto would be getting Spencer Jones and Jazz Chisholm Jr. from New York. Let me tell you about these guys, because this is where things get really exciting for Blue Jays fans. Spencer Jones is an outfield prospect who absolutely demolished minor league pitching last season. We're talking 35 home runs in the minors during the 2025 season. 35. This kid is a left-handed bat with serious power potential, and he could be a cornerstone piece for the future of this franchise. But that's not even the best part of what Toronto would be getting back. Jazz Chisholm Jr. is the real prize here, and I'll tell you exactly why in just a minute. But first, if you're enjoying this breakdown, show some love by leaving a comment below. Tell me, would you pull the trigger on this trade? I want to hear your thoughts. Are you team yes or team no? Drop those comments right now while you're thinking about it. Alright, let's talk about why the Blue Jays would even consider making a trade like this with their division rivals. The elephant in the room is Bo Bichette. We all know the situation. Bichette's time in Toronto might be coming to an end, and that leaves a massive hole in the lineup. We're talking about losing 18 home runs and 94 RBIs from the heart of the batting order. That's not production you can just replace with a waiver wire pickup or a minor league call-up. The Blue Jays need a real answer, and they need it fast. This is where Jazz Chisholm Jr. enters the conversation. And folks, this is where you need to pay close attention because this guy could be exactly what Toronto needs. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already. We're going deep into the analysis here, and your support means everything to this channel. Let's break down what Jazz Chisholm brought to the table in 2025, because his numbers are absolutely impressive. In 130 games, he crushed 31 home runs. Think about that. That's 13 more home runs than Bichette hit last season. He drove in 80 RBIs, which admittedly is less than Bichette's 94, but stay with me, because there's more to the story. Chisholm collected 112 hits, and here's where it gets really interesting. He stole 31 bases. 31. When's the last time we had that kind of speed at the top of the Blue Jays lineup? He slashed 242, 332, 481, which shows a nice combination of average, on-base ability, and power. Now, advanced metrics tell us even more. According to Fangraphs, Chisholm posted a weighted runs created plus of 126 in 2025. For those who might not be familiar with that stat, anything over 100 means you're above average, and 100 is league average. So 126 is really solid production. Compare that to Bichette's 134, and you're looking at a relatively small gap in overall offensive value. Here's the thing, though, and this is important. Chisholm and Bichette are different types of hitters. Bichette is more of a contact guy, someone who puts the ball in play consistently and racks up hits. Chisholm, on the other hand, is more about power and speed. He's going to strike out more, he's not going to hit for as high an average, but he's going to give you those game-changing moments with the long ball, and he's going to create havoc on the base paths. For a Blue Jays team that could use more athleticism and dynamic playmaking ability, that might actually be a welcome change in approach. Make sure you comment below and let me know. Do you prefer Bichette's contact-oriented game, or would you rather have Chisholm's power and speed combination? I'm genuinely curious what you all think about this. Now let's talk about Spencer Jones for a second, because this kid cannot be overlooked in this deal. A left-handed bat with 35 home run power in the minors is exactly the kind of prospect that can change a franchise's trajectory. The Blue Jays have been pretty right-handed heavy in recent years, so adding a legitimate left-handed power threat would provide some much-needed balance to the lineup construction. Jones is still developing, so he's not going to step in and contribute immediately at the major league level, but the upside here is enormous. We're potentially looking at a future middle-of-the-order bat who could anchor this lineup for years to come. That's the kind of prospect you dream about adding to your system. If you're excited about the possibility of Jones in a Blue Jays uniform, let me see those likes. And while you're at it, drop a comment telling me what position you think he should play once he makes it to the big leagues. Now we need to flip this around and look at it from the Yankees' perspective, because for this trade to actually happen, it has to make sense for both sides. And honestly, when you dig into New York's situation, this deal starts to make a whole lot of sense for them too. Reports have confirmed that the Yankees are actively searching for a right-handed outfield bat. This isn't just speculation or rumor. Multiple league sources have confirmed to major outlets that New York is scouring both the free agent market and the trade market looking for that specific piece. As of late January, they hadn't made a decision on which direction to go, but the need is very real. Before we continue, I want to see those likes climbing. We're almost at the end here, and if you've made it this far, you're a true Blue Jays fan and you deserve to be part of this amazing community we're building at Jays Central. So what are the Yankees looking at in free agency? Well, the best available options that fit what they need are guys like Starling Marte, Tommy Pham, and Austin Slater. Now, no disrespect to those players, but if Anthony Santander is healthy, he's a clear upgrade over all of them. Santander brings legitimate power from both sides of the plate as a switch hitter, which is incredibly valuable. He's got experience playing left field, right field, and serving as a designated hitter, so he gives the Yankees flexibility in how they construct their lineup and defensive alignment. The switch hitting aspect cannot be overstated either. It allows the Yankees to avoid some of the platoon disadvantages they might face against tough left-handed pitching. Santander would slot right into that lineup and provide exactly the kind of right-handed, or in this case switch hitting, presence that they're desperately seeking. But Santander isn't even the main piece the Yankees would be getting in this hypothetical deal. Jose Berios might actually be even more valuable to them given their current pitching situation. Here's the reality. Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon are both expected to start the season on the injured list. That's two of their top starters unavailable right away. Now, they've got some talented young pitching prospects who are close to being major league ready, including Cam Schlitter, but do you really want to rush those guys and potentially damage their development? By acquiring Berios, the Yankees would have insurance against those injuries and the flexibility to bring their prospects along more slowly and carefully. Let me ask you this. Drop a comment below telling me if you think Berios would succeed in Yankee Stadium. Would the short porch help him or hurt him? I want to hear your analysis. And let's talk about Berrios' track record for a moment, because this is what makes him so valuable. This is a guy who has made at least 30 starts in 7 of his 10 major league seasons. That includes each of the last 5 years consecutively. Durability like that is incredibly rare in today's game. You know exactly what you're getting with Berios. He's going to take the ball every fifth day. He's going to give you innings, and he's going to keep your bullpen fresh. For a Yankees team that's dealing with injury concerns and uncertainty in the rotation, that kind of reliability is worth its weight in gold. The fact that the Blue Jays would also be sending $10 million in this proposal helps offset the financial commitment as well, making it easier for New York to take on both Berios' $19 million salary and whatever Santander's contract looks like. Now, here's where we need to be realistic. As much sense as this trade makes for both sides, actually getting it done is a completely different story. These are division rivals we're talking about. The Blue Jays and Yankees play each other 19 times a year. Trading significant pieces back and forth between division opponents is always complicated because you're essentially helping a team that you're directly competing against. Would the Yankees really want to give the Blue Jays a player like Chisholm, knowing they'll have to face him multiple times every season? Would Toronto be comfortable strengthening New York's roster when they're trying to catch them in the standings? These are legitimate questions that go beyond just the baseball analysis. Front offices have to think about the optics, the competitive implications, and the potential backlash from their own fan bases. So while this trade proposal makes a ton of sense on paper, the likelihood of it actually happening is probably pretty low. But that doesn't mean it's not worth discussing and debating. Before we wrap up, I need you to do me a huge favor. If you enjoyed this deep dive analysis, absolutely crush that like button right now. Get us to our goal. And make sure you're subscribed with the bell icon turned on so you never miss our Blue Jays coverage. Finally, drop a comment below with your final verdict. Would you make this trade if you were running the Blue Jays? What changes would you make to the proposal? I read every single comment, and I love hearing from you all. Thanks so much for watching Jays Central, and I'll see you in the next one.